and welcome to another episode of the education, reporting, and stats and all the stuff. We are here. I am here. I'm Diana Hornez. Who am I? Where am I?
You're Millie's Holder.
I'm Millie's Holder. I'm Diana Hornez, the 2025 Cherokee Association of Realtors President, and this is
Mike Stott, former president and registered normal Cherokee County geek, because I like numbers a lot. And so we're here to show you some stats and maybe some ways in order to talk to your clients to help them take action that's good for them. Not necessarily good for you, but good for them. Yes. That's what we really want to do, because we're constantly serving our community, protecting private property rights, and elevating our profession. So the median sales price dipped to $500,000. And again, this is a snapshot, which is why I keep a running total for you. Although next year I'm probably going to have to knock off 2011 from the screen. Unless I make it so small you won't be able to read it. But we still went up significantly from last year at 487 to 500,000. For the course of the year, the average is 496 versus 486 last year, which is up 2%, which doesn't keep us up with inflation this year. So property values are up. The good news is if you own a median price house, it's worth $10,000 more. But here's some language you might want to use with somebody that, say, had bought a median house for $226 in 2016, and they're thinking about selling now, and it's worth $500,000, but they think it's worth $550 because they think it should have gone up 10% this
way
year.
Better than their neighbors.
Yes, and they have what we call heavy duty paint and extra thick carpet. And so here's some language you might use with them. When you go in and you sit down after you've seen the house, you've built some rapport, start with this language. Diana, congratulations. You guys have won the real estate lottery.
Whoop, whoop.
Your house that you paid $226 for, how much down did you put on that?
We put 3.5% down.
So you put about $8,000 down.
Yeah.
And now it's, the house has more than doubled, and you've turned $8,000 into over $300,000 worth of equity.
Heck yeah.
You won the real estate lottery.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go over what the stats are saying about the value of your house.
Oh,
okay. Whole different discussion than, we told you we wanted $550.
Yeah.
And we're talking now about how much money they've made. So try that. See if that works for you.
I like that approach.
Yeah. And so there we go. We all learn from each other. There's nothing magic about it. It's just something to talk about. Number of sales dropped to 290. October. Oops, it was 275.
Clerical error. It's okay. Pretend that number's there.
What happened? It's 276. It was actually what the number was. 276.
I saw it. It was there.
It was there, which is one less than 2 years ago. But remember, 2 years ago, what happened in the summer of COVID ending is the interest rates went back up. I don't know what's happening now with 296 being the lowest and 276 being lower. We'll have to see what's going to happen next month to see if this is a trend. But we're just having fewer. We actually have fewer sales this year than last year or the year before. And I apologize. This is 276. You can put that number in. And here's what's disconcerting to me is the population has grown almost 55,000 people, and we should have 13,000 plus or minus more homes. And if even one out of 13 of them sold, that would be 1,000 more sales, which would be another 80 per month. So we should see numbers larger than what we saw in 2011 and 2012.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not seeing numbers significantly larger than that. And so something to think about. Are we going into what's a new normal? And the new normal would be, for those of us that have been in the business for a while, your listings don't sell in 3 days. They don't get multiple offers.
Nope.
You have sellers asking you questions like, what are you doing to market my home? We need to have more open houses. You need to advertise in the Wall Street Journal. You need to advertise in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. How do you reach your international buyers? All those sort of questions. Talk with your broker, talk with your mentors, talk with your fellow agents about how they answer those questions so that you can answer the question. What's important oftentimes is not what you say, it's how you say it.
The delivery.
Yes, the delivery is so important. There's a big difference between, wow, I can understand your concern. Let's see what's going on with the numbers versus, well, the market's shifting. You got the delivery. You want to be the calm voice of reason, stability, and certainty. Now, it's no fun in a downward moving market where people think they're losing money, but we're not there yet. Some of us that remember being in the real estate business in 2008, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, our sellers were losing money. We were doing short sales left and right. People were really crying. They were losing money. What these people are now losing in most cases is perceived equity.
Yes.
And it's just perceived. You can't cash what you never had. So remind them, as we said last time, that they've won the real estate lottery. Here's another question you could ask them. How many homes would you have bought in 2016 had you known you were going to more than quadruple your $5,000? Well, that's, you're almost, I don't even know what, twintuple?
Yeah.
I don't even know what, 40 tuple?
Yeah.
But so use the language, use the skills, and use your calm, certain voice. Now, many of you know I've had cancer, melanomas, and the last one was really big. And the doctor was very certain, very matter of fact that, I had a survival rate, although I didn't like the percentages, although I'm still here. Yay.
Yay.
I didn't like the percentages, but she had a course of action for me to take that gave me confidence. And that's what you want to do. Even if your clients are losing money, you have to show them how this may be the best decision for them. I had one client, you can use this as a story. He was a bigwig staffing agency. He was opening an Atlanta office out of Virginia, and he bought basically the house my wife loves is like this in Virginia. He found an identical house here, and he paid $750 for it in like 2009. And 2 years later, he says, my wife and children hate it here. We hate the schools. We hate everything. I'm moving back to Virginia. He lost $90,000 on the sale of his house, and this is what he told me at closing. He said it was a bad financial decision, but a good family decision. So let your clients make their own decisions when they're doing this. And every experienced agent has a story about a client that looks like a bad deal where it was really the best possible decision for themselves.
Yeah.
Divorce cases, death of spouses, that sort of thing. It's just, sometimes it's better to just move on. I've done it personally. So what do we have active? 1,262. We're down 134 from last month. And what that caused me to look at is I went back to August and September, and August numbers were a little more dramatic, so I put it in there. We had 146 withdrawn in October of this year. In August, we had 114. That's like 30% more. And expireds, we had 26 expire in August. We had 130 expire in October. This tells me that sellers are getting tired of having their home on the market. And this is October. If it was November, I would expect a higher number because people want their home off the market for the holidays. Although next month, I'll talk about reasons why you should have your home on the market during the holidays. And, so the number of listings were down. The number of withdrawns were up significantly. The number of expireds were up dramatically.
A lot.
And I didn't look into what made up the expireds because I don't like working expireds. I like working for sale by owners. And so you should become an expert in one of those two, but that's just me talking. So we had 1,262 average on the market. We have something on the market for $9 million. It's been on the market for 2,619 days. That's only, just so you know, that's only about 8 years.
Oh my gosh.
2,619. I should have looked it up, but I didn't because I just had a crazy couple of weeks for me. Average price is $736. The median price is $575. I'm pointing this out this month just to remind you that economists and statisticians like the median price because this $8 million asking price pulls the average up.
Yeah.
And so, but remember, this is just a point in time. This was at the end of October, or actually I did these numbers on November 4th or 5th. It was just a point in time, and that's why I keep a historical track. So if you're going to be tracking a particular neighborhood, you might want to go back. I think you can search back 10 years in FMLS and gather your data and start becoming more knowledgeable about the trends in the neighborhood. And in some of our neighborhoods in Canton, remember, The numbers lie because one developer started the project, they went bankrupt, and another developer finished the project 6 or 7 years later, and they're different styles of construction, they're different qualities of construction, they're different sellers, it's a different market. So just be aware of those sort of things. Under contract, we have 298 plus 90 is 388 homes under contract. If 60% of them close next month, 0.6 times 388 equals 232, which would mean if 70% of them closed, 388 times 0.7, that's 271. We'll be heading for lower numbers next month rather than this month. Look at the median price, 469 and 525. Since this is roughly 3 to 1 over there, you could say, just to figure out what's going to happen, 525 times 3 plus 469, 500 equals that divided by 4. It would indicate that the median price is going to go up slightly to a little above 500,000 next month. Assuming, there's a lot of assumptions there, and we all know what happens when you assume something. You could end up looking like an idiot. Not that I've ever done that.
Nope, never.
Yesterday.
Ah!
But the 525, I'm assuming that an equal percentage sells under both. And I've never tracked that. That would be sort of interesting to see what the numbers are each month. But you can see the dollar volume for the pendings is far higher. On the close side of the sales, you can see the average sales price was $562, but the median list price was $500,000. In either case, the median and the average prices are significantly lower sales than what we're asking. But again, this is, we have 1,262. So then I start diving into a little deeper. We have 179 homes, 14% of them asking over $1 million. That's down from a high of 17%, by the way. 20 closed. 20 closed, which is, oops, I didn't change this. It was a 9-month remaining inventory. 20 times 9 is 179. Sorry, I didn't change that because it's just been a heck of a few weeks for me. Those of you that know me personally, I thank you for all your prayers and hugs and all that sort of stuff. We have 32 under contract or pending. So again, 2/3 of them closed. We're going to have about 20 again next month. Interestingly enough, 900 to $1 million, we only had 6 closings. I don't know why. And we have much fewer active. I think that $1 million has such a nice ring to it that a lot of people would rather list for $1 million than 980.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'd rather list my home for 980 and get it sold.
Yeah.
I think most realtors would.
Yeah.
800 to 900, we have 68 actives and 16 sales. Okay? And then it took 700 to 800 before we started approaching numbers that, over $1 million. But look at the days on the market. And again, these dramatically change month to month. And so if you looked at last month's numbers, you saw whole month's difference in days on market. But across the board, anything over 300,000, the median days on market is at least 7 weeks. Yeah. Okay, so how are you going to stay in touch with your sellers? What tools do your broker supply you to stay in touch with your sellers at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah.
This, I have no problem if you take this and send it to your sellers because it's just numbers and my personal opinion. Or if you do your own thing, or if you take a screenshot of just this one screen, go ahead. You're welcome to it. 600,000 to 700,000, we had 27 sales. 500,000 to 600,000, we had 48 sales. And then 400,000 to 500,000, 69 sales, and then 300,000, we had 67 sales. Look at where the bulk of our sales are being done is in 300 to 600,000.
It's a sweet spot.
Yes, and so you have 140, 136, 176, 184 of all the closings of 296 closings is this. Now, below 300,000, we had 12 sales. Average time of market is 25 days, as you might expect, because a lot of these are fixer-uppers. And the way I identify a fixer-upper is the listing agreement says fixer upper or it says investment opportunity. And then I look at the pictures, and that's how I look at it. 5 are modular homes, 11 are attached housing, which I have nothing against attached housing. My first 2 houses I owned were townhouses. My son lives in a townhouse. I like townhouses for a lot of reason, but they have a different demographic vibe, whatever you want to call it, over things. In fact, we were at the housing,
the Cherokee County housing.
Cherokee Housing County thing, and they were talking about first-time buyers don't want to live in apartments or townhouses anymore. And I think you'll see the National Association of Realtors have released their report on the annual home buyers and sellers survey, and it goes from August to August each year. But we're at the lowest number since we started recording data for first-time buyers. And so, again, I've said this maybe 6 times this year. Tell your more senior clients, like me, not like Diana, but your more senior clients that the best gift you can give your children is not an inheritance. It's helping them buy and stay in their first house.
Yes.
Moving forward, we have the GAOR stats. I love FMLS. It lets me do things. The Georgia Association of Realtors gives me some stats. Also, you look at it, theirs is older. This is through September. They gave us an average sales price of $550, but a median sales price of $481. We had higher numbers, and I haven't explained why, but the townhouses were higher so it pumped the numbers up because they break them down between single family and townhouses and condos, and I just haven't, I don't have access to the Georgia Association of Realtors numbers to mush them back together. But look at some of the numbers. New listings went up 10%, pending sales are down, closed sales are down, days on market up significantly, median sales price up, about the same 2% we've been seeing. Percent of list price to sales price were dropped. We were at 99.1% a year ago, 2 years ago. Now we're down to 98.1%. Okay. So marketing tip for those of you that have a very high list price to sales price ratio. What worries me, Mr. Seller, is if you don't list with me, you might list with a below average agent, because I do higher that might only get you 97% of the value of your house. Can you afford to give up 2% of the value of the house by choosing the wrong agent?
Nope.
Here's what I know. 7 out of 10 home sellers interview one agent and one agent only. So what you want to do is give them a reason to hire you. And having a higher than average list price to sales price is a reason.
Yes.
And you got to verify it. You got to be able to back it up, and you got to tell the truth. Please always tell the truth. Don't just make up.
Don't pull it out of your backside.
Yes, the assuming part. And so, but if you do, even if your list price to sales price ratio is 98.5%, well, for everybody that sells one for 98.5%, there's another one that sells it for 97.5%. Can you afford to give up 1% of the value of your house by hiring the wrong agent? Okay. And you're a good agent. You got in front of them. Use your statistics to show them you're more knowledgeable about the market than they are. For those of us that are visual, you can see our median sales price. If we went, last year, it's gone up very slightly. Townhouses and condos, we saw a dip. We saw it go back up. We see it dipping again. We're watching it. This is an indication to me that this is a changing market.
Definitely.
It could be the days on market are increasing. The inventory is increasing. And once the press gets a hold of this, then I believe we'll start to see home prices stabilize or actually drop just a little. Get ready for it so you're not surprised.
Yeah.
For rent, 122 on the market, 50 rented, 2,500, 2,300. These numbers have remained constant over the last few months. Here's the problem is if, as they said at the housing meeting yesterday, a single mother nurse making $90,000 a year can barely afford to rent a property if she has student loan debt.
Yep.
And this is a seasoned nurse, because you don't start out at $90,000 as a nurse. Senior police officer, they don't start out. I think I saw something, and I was considering it, being a police officer for $55,000 a year. But it turns out at 63, I'm a little older than the average age of new police officers.
Yes.
But I have that gravitas. I could see license and registration, ma'am.
Police development vehicle.
Yeah, that will be it. Diana has an exciting thing. It's getting to be the end of her year as a president. She's done such a fantastic job. I hope some of you were at the chili cook-off.
Oh, it was so good.
I hope some of you were at the Halloween party where we had great statistics and costumes and fun. She has done just a great job. I always love seeing how the Cherokee Association of Realtors continues to get more fun. And we've established some new traditions over the last few years: the charity pitch battle, pickleball, all these things, and
kegs and kickball,
kegs. And on Wednesday, November 19th, we
are going to be installing our new officers, our new directors, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have it at Timbers at Etowah. For those of you that have come the last 2 years, it's been on Main Street. We decided there's going to be more people that are coming, so come to the Timbers of Etowah. There's going to be great hors d'oeuvres.
Yes.
I don't know what hors d'oeuvres is.
We're going to have a great heavy lunch. Or not heavy lunch, heavy hors d'oeuvres. So it'll be
I'm not an hors
delicious.
d'oeuvre person, so I'm going to eat before I get there. But
it's going to be fun. It's going to be delicious.
It is. Everybody but me will love it, but that's okay. I'm still going to be there. I don't like cold meat, so that's what most hors d'oeuvres are. And vegetables, I'm a meat and potatoes sort of guy.
Yeah, you are.
Irish. So we're going to install our 2026 officers and directors, help us celebrate. And we have a wonderful speaker, Doris Suro. She's the housing outreach coordinator for the Georgia Dream program. We're going to teach you, and she's going to teach you what it takes to get into the Georgia Dream. And the Georgia Dream is really cool, as they can give, for nurses, police officers, educators, that sort of thing. You can get up to $12,500 in non-repayable.
Yeah, she's going to go into the meat and potatoes of what this program's all about. She's also going to answer your questions regarding, you hear all those old wives' tales about Georgia Dream. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it takes forever. Oh, this. She's going to be able to answer your questions regarding Georgia Dream and hopefully diffuse a lot of the maybe negative bias against them. So that way you can pass all that information on to your buyers and help them get into housing.
Right. And I think I'm going to give Diana a challenge.
Oh,
you ready?
Okay.
Could you find out from Billy Peppers how the Canton city initiatives can layer onto the Georgia Dream?
Oh, yeah.
So if somebody's buying in Canton, I believe Canton's down payment assistance would be on top of the Georgia Dream.
Ooh, yeah, I'll find that out for sure.
Yeah, so we can find that out. Now, Canton's a little more restrictive income-wise than the Georgia Dream, but for the right client, you could be helping somebody get into a home and building generational wealth, and that excites me.
Yes.
That excites me. As always, man, it's been a pleasure. We'll do another one in December. In January, I just got to let everybody know, I'm 63. I've been selling real estate for 45 years. I'm going to go to Thailand for 3 weeks in January, and I might not get an education video out until the end of January, and we'll probably just cover all of 2025.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into February as February comes around. So you guys are great. I've had so much fun this year doing the extra events, and
Millie's enjoyed doing all this too.
Oh, that's Millie the Wonder Dog.
Millie.
Yes, she's wonderful. And we're in my office, and if you guys have any questions, think I did something wrong, it's my fault. Mike.stott@mac.com. If you love this, let Diana know. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.